The fellows down here talk with our hands a lot.
Welcome to the staff meeting. This is episode number 2.
Why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. We're excited to be back. As always, I got the crew with me.
Hey.
Hi.
Today, I think what I'd like to talk about, actually, this was Adam's idea. I shouldn't even really take credit for it. But we talked a lot about weddings on episode 1. But the Crossroads Sound and XRS Entertainment as a company does way more than just weddings. So I think we'll just talk about the different types of events that you could hire the Crossroads Sound for, or you could hire a trio for, or you could hire a soloist for.
Oh, keep going.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, truly.
It's true.
So
everyone talks about corporate parties most as like a number 2.
Right.
I think, right? There's like
Right.
weddings,
For the most
there's
part.
corporate events, and then we kind of go down the
Block parties.
from there. So I mean,
Birthdays.
Bat mitzvahs.
I've never played a bat mitzvah. Fun story, had my first kiss at a bat mitzvah.
Me too.
was it me?
It certainly wasn't.
Was it each
For those
other?
of you at home,
Yeah. For the
it certainly was not.
But corporate events, like, I don't know, just like breaking down what those are, and some of like the better ones that I remember being a part of were, they're almost always in some sort of like more grand space than you generally get with a lot of weddings. Might be in like a barn or a more intimate space or just a smaller room, but I feel like I've seen a lot of corporate events be in like very grand ballrooms.
Oh, yeah.
Convention
big
center.
hotels, convention centers, stuff like that, and that's
Arrowhead
always
Stadium,
like,
places like that. Yeah.
it's a
big places.
huge difference, especially sound wise. I feel like, because you have to fill that room and not sound like a wimpy tiny little band in the corner. You know, you got a party for like 500, 600 people sometimes, whereas a wedding might be 100.
I wonder what you guys think. I almost wonder if sometimes those, like, it sounds cooler to be at Arrowhead Stadium, like you said, or you know, like a huge, like the convention center here in Kansas City, like just huge spaces. I almost wonder though if sometimes those can be more difficult than
They are
a
more
wedding.
difficult, I think, because
to perform.
Yeah, you're not
yeah.
at somebody's best day of their lives. You know, like family members are. There's a precedent that there's going to be a party, but sometimes you'll get, you know, people going for business advantages. You know, to make connections with other business people, which like makes sense. But you're not always going to pack the floor like as easily. I've seen some though.
Yeah.
I've
We've
seen
done some
some
good
that
ones.
will lose it, and those are super fun. But
They definitely have potential to be
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they do
They're
have
just
a lot
different.
of potential.
Big
It just,
parties.
I feel like sometimes the corporate events, you got a little bit more of a warm up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit more of a build up to the party because people are like,
Everybody's in their seat. They're thinking,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to watch whoever is up here speaking.
yeah,
You know, I'm kind of just here to hang out. And
or like a fundraiser.
We've all
Yeah.
been to the like, so-and-so's like, your work's throwing you a pizza party. You all get one
pizza
slice.
party?
and
I
a
love
high
playing
seat.
pizza parties.
You know what I mean? It kind of feels like that vibe of like, we have to be here. But
You mean we've
our
been to
job,
those? We haven't played one.
No,
of those.
I mean, yeah, like everyone's been to like.
No, we booked a pizza party. That's what you're working on right now.
Oh
it's
my
it's
God.
a Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm
pizza
currently
party.
booking a pizza party.
Book it.
We have a pizza
party.
special.
But like, I totally lost my train of thought now. No, just that like there's some people in the room who feel like I have to be here because this is the big like company holiday party or what have you. You can't not show, but I don't want to dance, and it's our job to be like, we're gonna
You
get
can-
you
No,
to
it's time to dance.
Like
You. We want you
We
to
want-
dance.
it's the doctors. It's always the doctors.
Oh,
That's very
yeah.
specific. But
I'm
yes.
sorry, doctors.
My dad's a doctor,
And
and he likes
dance?
to party.
He likes to dance.
He's a
I've seen
party
him
animal.
dance. He's a dancer.
I've seen it.
What's up, Daryl?
But and I don't know, separate from like that issue, there's really an issue with like the room you're playing in, you know, having the production to be able to fill it up. It's something I feel like super confident that we
Yeah.
can do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For me,
corporate
I mean,
parties. Yeah.
because I geek out on all the production, which, you know, we established last episode, if you saw that. But like for me, like there's kind of, it seems like a lot of times there's a lot more creative freedom maybe at a corporate event. Whether it's like, hey, here's kind of our theme. How can you provide something that fits into that, or a blank slate? Like, we need entertainment for this event. Like,
Right.
it's your job. Whereas a wedding, it's like,
A wedding's very structured, and a
Yeah.
corporate event sometimes is too. But like, it's definitely more. It's more.
a wedding
creative
is
freedom,
always
yeah.
is always like, we want it to be elegant, but we still want to like have a good time. So
Yeah.
it kind of, a lot of times it can be very cookie cutter. Now, don't get me wrong. There's weddings out there that are very,
Yeah.
they get creative, but a corporate event can be sky's the limit.
We won't start that night with a slow song. Your wedding, yeah, it usually helps to have a slow song. But there's no instance when I would start like a corporate party, like, all right, everybody, come here, bring the person you brought as a date to your company party.
Grab your desk
Or just
partner.
Swing it around and round.
if there's somebody in the office you've been wanting to dance with, now's the time.
man.
Oh my gosh.
The HR department would have our butts.
I think your corporate event and like other more like private parties, not weddings, tend to like err on the side of like themes, at least a lot that we've played with. And like even just working with some different vendors and kind of some of that like leeway or freedom to choose what we're doing comes in. Like, for example, we got asked, to play, and their theme was like Roaring 20s is something that we're going to be doing. So like it kind of allows for a little bit more flexibility, not just in like our music choices, but I know Brighton alluded to like doing costume and kind of our wardrobe. And so that kind of gives her some leeway in some of those more private parties. Typically for weddings, they want to stick with kind of like black tie.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of fun. I know we've got we're going to get to like what other kinds of parties, but we got some summer backyard parties coming up this summer, obviously.
This fall, we're going to be doing
this
some
fall.
summer.
Yeah, this winter. actually.
So it's just kind of a cool way to like, we can still play all the genres, but we can kind of play some like specific things towards like the theme and the vibe that the
Yeah, I
client
mean,
or the corporate
And
group is going
Brighton
for.
can speak to it too, as far as like we don't always wear suit and tie to
Yeah.
to some of these events because it's casual, or it's the backyard parties like you mentioned. Even I played some corporate events that were corporate pool party.
Yeah.
Where you're not going to wear a tuxedo to that kind of an
Yeah.
event. I mean, so it's a chance for us also to do something, that's not the same wedding vibe that we always. Not that we don't love doing that, because we do love doing that, but sometimes it's nice to play music in shorts and a Hawaiian shirt.
Fitting into wherever, like whatever the party is, I like fitting in as part of the party, not like showing up as
Right.
who we are. I feel like that makes us stand out more, like melting into the decor at your party.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes you wear a hoodie with sleeves, and sometimes you wear one without sleeves.
Do
But
you?
it's so you can show it's always
You do it. You're
it's
Zach
always a
Johnson.
It's all about the gun show.
I thought the tattoo convention was in Kansas City.
I feel like the difference between like backyard parties and like bar gigs is not a lot. They're kind of like in kind of the like tiers or just different levels, categories of types of performances that we can do. I feel
Yeah.
like those two we kind of see as like probably the most casual. They have their own differences though, because like when we say backyard party, it's not literally always in someone's backyard. It could be a block party or what have you, but just some space that like is most likely private, and that can lend itself to be different than a bar that's gonna be public. You
Right.
know,
Like a country club. Country
Yeah.
clubs can have, beach parties or the white party or whatever,
Yeah.
where like it may be different, or everybody else is in white, and so like we don't want to be the. I mean, it could be cool if we were the only people in black, but like sometimes, or the pink party or something like that. It's really cool to see stuff like that, and it is like country clubs are more of a private event and stuff like that.
You mentioned bar gigs, and I know that we, being kind of young at heart as a company, have a lot of bar gigs coming up this summer for sure that we're really looking forward to, especially some of our favorite places we like to go.
We're gonna like get just live music happening again.
That's what we want. We want
That's
everybody to be able to
our
enjoy
goal.
that.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna do anything and everything we can.
right. 3-year-old
get our
birthday
hands on.
party. We're there.
It's
That's
been
right.
too long since
It's-
any of us have like played a
That's
whole
right.
bunch of stuff.
And you can see even at this very moment, Jen's hustling on the laptop. I mean, we didn't set this up, But she's talking with a client right now.
2 clients.
2 clients right now. Just we're hustling to try to get
It's the
live
ultimate
music going.
customer experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is what we're all
hook
about.
you
It's
up.
just doing any and every kind of event we can possibly, do. So.
Yeah, so not just corporate events. I just feel like as a band, the Crossroads sound is malleable in the fact that we can customize ourselves to any event.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about cocktail music that just doesn't apply to a cocktail hour at a wedding. We play restaurants. We play, things like that everybody is used to seeing music up until the last year and a half at. Like, we still provide music for that kind of stuff. We still get a chance to do that when it's possible.
We can also do the good old Kansas City jazz. We've got several of our musicians that graduated from the jazz school at UMKC when we're here, and they know how to do the real stuff. So, and
Well, close enough.
well, no, but
The nice
for
thing-
the money they better be the real stuff.
The nice thing about jazz is there's no wrong notes, right?
Yeah,
Like,
That's what they
there's
say.
not a wrong
That
note.
is a funny thing
Totally.
to say.
But that's so true. Like, and Jenny, what you said about like our different size of bands and stuff, and like that totally plays into it. You're not gonna get a 14-piece jazz band
Yeah.
from
I could
the
only wish.
Crossroads sound
Please
right now.
do
Maybe
it.
one day
Please let
we'll
me
have
sing
a
with
big
a big
band.
band.
Yeah,
Have a
big
big
bands.
band version.
Yeah. I
That's
think
our
that'd be
new
awesome.
concept.
God, that would be sick.
Let's maybe talk in a little more detail for anybody that's wondering about like, okay, what size band do you do? What's appropriate? I mean, obviously, a lot of our videos on our website and on YouTube, we have as big as a 14-piece band, and that would be like kind of like your big corporate events where you're in a huge space, you've got a huge stage,
Right.
and
Yeah,
that event just needs as much energy as possible and the biggest sound possible
Yeah.
to like fill up a huge room. But that's actually not what we probably. I mean, the majority of our events are coming clean.
If someone
are not
reached out-
14-piece bands.
Yeah. If someone
Yeah.
reached out and wanted
Yet.
that for their block party, maybe it's possible.
Not everybody has the
party
venue for it,
in their
though.
backyard. Yeah, you really have to consider what size you have. Can you
Yeah.
really fit all 14 people under that tent that you rented?
Because the sound you may have like a 7-piece band or an 8-piece band that's it's half of the 14-piece band, and whatever space you're in, like it's gonna sound exactly like the 14-piece band. It's just whatever space you're in, and like however much we're gonna fill out the space. Like we can for the most part make like a 5-piece sound pretty big because we've got such great sound equipment. But that's kind of where I would think about it, like just insider knowledge of like what I would want to do, how many pieces I would want to get, like what's the venue you're doing, and what is it going to sound like, And we've played a lot of venues in Kansas City, at least, just so many. So we could probably tell you like what it's going to sound like because we've heard it before,
I know something I talk to clients a lot about, because a lot of clients call and maybe don't necessarily know what they want, but they do see a lot of videos. And so I feel like we've got a lot of different things out there. But one thing we kind of talk about, like the step from like a pretty small thing to like kind of your next level, is whether or not you bring in like our horn section. Because I feel
That's
like when
true.
when you go from like a smaller, like a 5-piece band, which is like 2 vocals, drums, bass, guitar. It's great. It's amazing. But you step up to those couple more people and we throw in a couple of horns, and it kind of gives you that more like full big band sound.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I would say typically if, you have the space and the budget for it, like what we're seeing in booking, kind of the moderate package is like that 7-9 piece band, which gets you 2 to 3 vocalists. If you can get all 3 of our horns on there is pretty awesome. And then obviously like your drum, bass, guitar. But that's just what we talk a lot about, going from, really pared down, and then you add in that horn section. And then from there, you just keep stacking vocals, because we can get, 6 vocalists at once, and that can really amp it up.
Yep.
The choreography looks 10 times better.
Yeah, the more, yeah.
It's always
for
fun to see
sure.
people doing stuff like together, but it's just a joy to see all of our friends on the gig and do all that choreo and just hit it.
I think we've seen people worry that if you don't have the biggest group, 14 or 12 or 13 or whatever, if I don't have that, I'm worried it's not going to be impactful for my event, which is simply not true. yeah, it depends on your event, but I feel confident in this group that we could play any event, and like with the core group of people that we have on it, like it's going to be a party. It's going to be a fun time. And if it's like 12 or 13 people, I've seen people have the opposite opinion where that might be too much for our thing, right? And it might be depending on space, like we said, but also like you'd be surprised. Like there's never a truly, what's the word I'm looking for? Like replaceable person of the band. I was going to say expendable, but that's the opposite of what I'm looking for. Like, you know, when it comes to like, oh, well, do I want to add that extra person? Like, I would always say, yeah, you do. It is going to make a difference. Yeah. 14 will sound totally different than 5, but 5 is not going to sound bad. Like, I know that's so arbitrary. That's so like hard to explain. Or
it's
like,
usually like a 5 piece is usually. I mean, it's most definitely our core people who do like almost every single show, all as a group. So that group is going to be extremely tight and put together, and we know what we're doing.
We are experts at putting together the correct show for the venue, for the event. That's kind of this experience that Jenny offers to a client is we get to know our clients, you know, and exactly what they're looking for, and then also get to add our expertise and like, well, we've done an event like this before. This is what we can provide for the event, and maybe you're not thinking of this. Maybe you're not considering this, or maybe yes, you are trying to get a 5-piece band for a 1,000-person corporate event. That's just not the right look.
Right.
Let's talk about what we can do to make this, you know, mutually beneficial for everybody. And same thing is maybe you're trying to get an 11-piece band for a 50-person backyard party. Yeah. Probably not right.
We're not going to do that to you. We're definitely not going to do that. It's just like
I think that we are in such good communication with the clients that we have, i.e. Jenny talking right now to a couple.
Yeah.
That we always will always give our most professional input towards what we think you should have. And then hey, if you want to bring 14 pieces to a 20-person party, we'll do it. Just don't think it's going to fit the vibe. That's okay. We will do it.
I mean, if you know that those 20 people are just going to really be there and live for it, like, oh yeah, we'll live for them too. I promise you that. We'll find we'll find the people that specifically enjoy us like there, and we'll just, even the people who don't, like I'll just like really beady eyes stare at them and smile my hardest and get them to like come to the dance floor.
That's my favorite Brighton look.
Yeah. If anything, like that's my go-to is like if there's anybody not quite enjoying the party or like nobody's on the dance floor yet, I have to go even harder because it's more fun for me, and it just, you know.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, it's like I would rather have those people.
If you're at our next event, just look like you're not having a lot of fun,
see
but
how
look
hard
at
I
Brighton.
go. See how much you can make me sweat and like see if I pass out, because I really just will.
So anyway, to kind of flip the script a little bit, let's go from like the smallest size ensemble. Well, I guess a soloist would be the smallest size.
Yeah.
Ensemble.
But what kind of events would a soloist be appropriate for, or a 2-piece or a 3-piece? Because we can do that too.
Ceremony. A lot of soloists will do like ceremony type things if you have a specific song, which we definitely do. Or like as people are walking into your event, there could be a pianist or a guitar player or a singer, or, you know,
like lobby.
A solo singer?
Lobby stuff.
Do we do a solo singer?
No, like a singer with a pianist or a singer with a guitarist.
You want to do acapella?
No,
girl. You'll do it.
I have a price. I really have a price, but I'm not sure you can pay it.
Will you come to my place and just do it?
We need to find like we need to find like a Bobby McFerrin with a looper pedal.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would just
don't worry, be happy the whole time.
No one would think that's weird.
Here's a little song I wrote.
Anyways, I think 4-piece is kind of tricky because it is loud enough, but you wouldn't.
4-piece is going to include a drum set always, which scares people a lot. I'll tell you, as the resident drummer of the Crossroads
drummers
Sound, like,
are scary.
I can play really soft. Like, you know, I get that scares people because they're like, oh, if I have drums, like that's not going to be the vibe. Not necessarily. Like, you know,
I've told Adam a couple of times, like, you can actually play a little bit louder, which never happens with the drummer. So we're super lucky.
If you've had a drummer graduate from jazz school, I don't care which jazz school, they ought to be able to play like real quiet. if they're playing too quiet, you should ask, did you go to jazz school? All right? Because that's the main thing. Like, they've got to be able to play under a bass solo, which when a bass solo is, if you don't know, it can be very hard to hear. So everybody else in the group has
Like an
to
upright
know,
bass, right?
Yeah, an upright bass or even electric bass. Like, it just
Low
depends
frequencies, so
Yeah.
you just have to.
So everybody has to play like way lower than that. So it makes a lot of sense, and it's a good thing to have in your arsenal as a drummer. It's a good thing in your arsenal to have the complete opposite of what you can do. Like, if you're a belter,
for a party.
you should
Oh, yeah.
you should be able to also sing very like soft, and it's a good thing to have, just like having a big. And I would say like
not really my strong suit.
I was gonna say, Josh, tell us about how you like to sing soft, Josh.
But I would say that like everybody in our group has a good like wide range of
Adam can't even keep a
abilities.
straight face on that. Listen, I can sing soft.
He actually
He can
can.
sing soft,
He just
for sure.
chooses not to. We have also
Josh
had
didn't go to
gigs.
jazz school.
I did
Full
not do jazz
disclosure.
school.
Full disclosure. I've told Adam to play louder, and I've told Josh, you don't need a microphone.
This is very
It sounds great, but you don't need a microphone today.
We're gonna take a mic from you today.
It's gonna turn that down.
Just kidding. It's not that bad.
I
It's
think
pretty loud.
one piece, two piece is almost always, as in musicians, one musician, two musicians is almost always cocktail hour stuff,
Yeah.
ceremony stuff. And I feel like you get up to like a 5-piece band, and that's where like definitely party band, definitely dance floor is
That's
happening.
that's where you start to like really feels like a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got all the instruments you need, and it just, like you said, goes up from there. You just
Yeah.
add on whatever you need at that point. So
Sky's the limit.
I would agree with that. 14 pieces, 5 to 14 or 1 to 14.
sky equals 14.
Score. Yeah, that's true. One single soloist who just sings
15, too high.
Way too much.
entirely. You could not ever
Let's
do
not even talk
15.
about 15.
Right to jail.
Right, that's right to jail.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging with us for episode number 2. We appreciate it. And check back again next week. We'll do it again.
Bye.
Peace.
Why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle.
Why don't you just meet me in the middle?
I don't know.
That was the only song I could find
use
that
that.
had.
Why?
Just
why?
use that.
That was the only song I could find that we have done that had anything related to a meeting in it. So.
Oh,
don't you
meet
just-
Oh,
me.
meet me in the
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah, well, that
I
one
didn't
spells
catch that.
M-E-A-T.
Missed it. I'll bet you guys missed it too.
Is it?
No.
That's news to me. M-E-A-T, me in the middle.
Why
Why
don't
don't
you
you
just-
no,
Why don't
that
you
could
just
not be
M-E-A-T, me in the middle?
I'm going to make sure we're actually recording. I'm sure we are. Sure we are. And I did another beer. That was my... I just had to make it a technical excuse. So...
We get a lot of things done here at Crossroads Sound.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing.
That's one weird piece.
Fix it. Come on. Where's my hair person?
Makeup.
Kansas City's dad.
She's had enough.
Cut her off.
Do you want me to like right in the middle, just keep fixing it?
Oh, you had it. Now I
I had
You
it
just
lost
knocked
it.
it down.
Oh,
it
I
back.
did. Hold on.